All right. I'm going to give you guys a statement about Jordan Chariton. Of course, people have been legitimately asking about that issue, and we wanted to address it. We wanted to address it much earlier, but we couldn't because we were offering Jordan the ability to take a resignation. He has turned that down, and so I'm here to tell you now that Jordan Chariton has been fired from the Young Turks. We conducted and completed an investigation. It was an internal investigation. We could not talk to a lot of the people involved, including the accusers, because they don't work for us. And for a long time, we did not even know who some of them were. Truth Against the Machine has nothing to do with the Young Turks. That was a side project that Jordan set up. So what we did in our internal investigation was we assumed what would happen even in the best case scenario for Jordan. And so I'm not saying that that was a scenario. We did not conduct an investigation as to whether any kind of sexual assault happened. That is for other authorities to deal with. And I'm not saying that the best case scenario is the correct one for Jordan. I'm not saying anything about that because we didn't investigate that. In our investigation, assuming a best case scenario, even in that scenario, here's what we found. So he ran a side business and unfortunately used our company to effectuate that business. Now, Truth Against the Machine was a thing that I thought was a little side project with a couple of volunteers. It turns out that we did not know, nor did he communicate to us the scale of it, where they were having conferences or conventions, and there were a number of people being paid through this operation. Again, we have nothing to do with Truth Against the Machine, and the fact that any of our resources were used in that regard is deeply troubling to us. Then he unfortunately brought in women that report into him at whatever that organization is, and also some TYT employees into a hotel room, and in other instances, several other intimate settings. That is clearly unacceptable. That is very poor management decisions that he made, and clear firing offenses. So without going into what happened or did not happen in those rooms, for a manager to bring in women into his room, and according to his own admissions, not only internally, but in posts that he then put publicly, have sexual relations with them is not acceptable. So if you don't agree with that and you think, hey, bosses should be allowed to sleep with people who work underneath them and keep bringing people into their rooms, okay, then we're going to disagree. So we offered to allow him to resign and take a severance, and we gave him all the way to Wednesday because we were trying to do the right thing. And he has decided not to do that. And in the meanwhile, he has attacked us over and over publicly. And so since he's not resigning, I'm telling you right now that we fired him. He has refused to talk to us. He got an attorney, and he's saying, no, I don't want to hear it. I want you to tell my attorney, and his attorney has done nothing but threats since then. So what he didn't tell you in one of those posts that he put up, the original one, was that he said that he was doing radical transparency, but he neglected to mention that the woman that he was talking about in very intimate details was someone who reported into him at Truth Against the Machine. That's a pretty important detail to leave out, and not what I would call radical transparency. He then misstated that we didn't do an internal investigation when he wouldn't even talk to us about that investigation. We reached out to him to have that conversation, and he kept referring us to his lawyer. And then, of course, he said things like we did it for corporate reasons. I don't know what that means. Here's why we did it. We did it to protect the people that work here and make sure that we have professional management in place. Now, look, Jordan in the past has done good work for us. He broke a number of stories that were very important. This does not erase that. And it is actually super sad that it has come to this. And I believe in second chances. And so I hope and believe that he can learn from these, what I consider to be mistakes. And I don't want people writing on off forever. Again, whatever happened in those rooms, that is for other people to determine. It is a really important issue. And I'm not saying anything about that in this regard. So, I hope he can learn from it, and I think he can go on to do good work again. But right now, obviously, we have to do what is right for the employees here and everyone else concerned. So, I'm not going to say anything about anything more about this for now because he's threatened litigation, and of course, lawyers want me to read the statement that is on a prompter and carefully crafted and PR machine behind it and all that. No, I'm telling you as I always do. I wrote down my notes and I'm telling you what happened to the best of my ability. And part of it is I actually also want to protect Jordan's privacy. No matter how public he's been and no matter what he's done, there are things that we don't need to talk about any further because this situation is resolved. And I wish it didn't go down this way, but it did. So I hope, like I said, I'm going to reiterate it, that he learns from this and can move past it and go on to do good work and good reporting again. But for now, this is the situation at hand, and we clearly had to make this decision for the purpose of everyone who works here. So I hope you guys understand that, and that's all.